Welcome to Cocobean Cooks. Today I'm cooking at one of my favorite restaurants with one of the coolest guys that I know, and award-winning chef Gustaaf Boshoff. Every single dish that Gustaaf makes is absolutely incredible, so I know you are going to love what he has in store for us today. Gustaaf, thank you so much for having us in your restaurant. Can you tell us a little bit more about what we'll be cooking?
Thanks so much for joining us, Beans. I think the cool thing about the restaurant is just winning the Sassy Trailblazer Award and focusing on green and environmentally friendly options. So I've got a fun array of ingredients to showcase, inspiration from international travels, and I think we'll have a lot of fun in the kitchen.
I'm excited. Let's get started.
Starter, poisson cru.
Ooh, I love it.
I know you enjoyed it. It's such a fresh, vibrant dish. So basically, it's Tahiti's national dish. So it consists of raw tuna, a little bit of salt, lime, and a coconut cream dressing. So we've jazzed it up a bit with a little bit of coriander, chili, ginger, garlic. And then next up, we have these beautiful organic asparagus from Genesis Farm. Jolene and John Hobbs, they're like really, really cool people. And I think they're the change makers that we need for people that are actually farming ethically.
And I love that you're supporting that.
I think it's important. That's kind of what it's all about. But anyway, so I'm going to get you to actually mix the flour. So this is 1.5 kgs of regular stone ground flour, 500 grams of brown whole wheat flour, and then what we do is we just mix the yeast. So the dough it's a high hydration dough, so what it does is it gives us a nice crispy product in the end. It's quite ironic because you would think that the more water you add to the product, the drier it would be, but it actually gets really nice and crispy.
Oh, wow.
You can just mix that in. So what we're going to be adding to this flatbread is some beautiful butternut, baby marrows, beetroot, feta, and some crispy kale. It's become something that's quite funny. No one really likes kale, but because we deep fry the kale, everyone actually has a palate for it. It's quite funny. So you keep mixing away there, and then I'm going to start working our way through the starters. Cool. Let's wash our hands and then we'll get going. Very important ingredient is the coconut cream. So in Tahiti, it's amazing. They actually husk the coconuts and they press like fresh coconut cream. The other cool ingredient is the coriander. You can start by grating the ginger and the garlic, please.
So you speak a lot about your travels. Do you find that your inspiration comes mostly from your travels?
I think food has always inspired me. I was the kid that when my brother and sister asked my mom where the food is, I would just go into the fridge and start cooking. So I think like I've always had a passion for cooking. So next up we'll be using the mandolin.
Okay.
I think so. Generally speaking, we'll use 2 tomatoes per person, half a cucumber, so you're doing good there. So dressing-wise, it's all about preference and taste. So I would add, we're going to look at this. This is roughly about 120 grams of tuna. So what we'll do is we'll quickly just add the salt. A little bit more. I really enjoy the Malden salt, but RX salt, there's a few cool salts in South Africa that you can use. Use no less than a whole lime. It's all about balancing salt, lime,
well,
sugar.
the flavors really are well balanced from what I've tasted before in the restaurant, and this is really one of my favorite dishes. I would choose this as my last meal.
Oh,
Really,
awesome. That is a big compliment. Okay, cool. So basically salt, lime's added. So you can see as the salt and lime is added, the color of the tuna starts changing. That is the cooking process starting without cooking. So what you can do is add all of the cucumber, tomatoes. I'll add the carrots, a little bit of Malden salt, a little bit of pepper. And then, but the dressing is really where the magic happens, and that's where it all comes together. You can mix that up for us, and then we'll add this. So edamame is a fun little refreshing element that we added to it.
And edamame is also a good source of protein.
Yes. That's the first thing everyone remarked about this dish is actually the color and the vibrancy. Now we'll just add the dressing.
It's actually something that you could make at home.
It really, that's the whole thing. And I'm always like, some chefs don't share recipes, but I would like share any recipe. Let's give that a taste.
Lime and lemon are one of my favorite fruits. I can eat them just like that.
Really?
So I like
Well, I think that's kind of what makes the dish quite exciting, is the vibrancy of the lime, of course. So it's that sharp acidity. I tasted a beautiful Chardonnay yesterday, and the winemaker was talking about picking the fruit early because it's about the vibrancy of the fruit, as opposed to like where old school Chardonnays used to be about oak and vanilla and butter. So it's like old school versus new school. So this is definitely a new school kind of dish.
Definitely.
I think we're just about there. We'll just add these crisps when we plate up the dish, and some radishes. So that's the most important thing, is that you can see the tuna still has like a vibrant color to it, even though the coconut milk does discolor it ever so slightly. So you can literally just put a little mountain of that in the center of the plate, and then I'll garnish with the mustard cress. I think we nailed it.
This is beautiful.
Okay. So what I always do is I like, the dressing is everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
So what I do is I just add a little bit of the extra dressing to the dish, and then you want to make sure you get some of the radishes as well. So one poisson cru, I can't wait for you to taste this.
Oh, I can't wait to eat it.
Cool.
Is that all for me?
Yep. Well, next up is the flatbread, and then we're also going to get into the organic asparagus. The asparagus dish is quite simple, but I think let's start rolling some dough balls.
Yes, let's do it.
Cool. So basically enough flour, you never want to have too much flour. So it is cool to shape by hand. I'm going to let you do some of the shaping. So basically just garlic and herb butter.
Okay.
Predominantly like rosemary, oregano. So what we do is we brush the bases with the butter. So basically we have courgette, roasted butternut, some slow roasted cherry tomatoes, and then that's roasted beetroot. Cool, so let's get started. Like always, you want a healthy, like little balance of ingredients. Okay, and then next up we'll do beetroot, cherry tommies, and then last but not least feta. Crispy kale we keep for the end of the recipe. So obviously it's already been fried. It's lovely, tasty, and just nicely seasoned.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about how you got the amazing name, the Green Goose.
So basically the green in the name is about ethically sourced, environmentally friendly options. And then the goose is maybe the more exciting side of things, which is maybe a little bit more indulgent. So that's where the fun dishes like the lasagna is my favorite comfort food, or arancini, risottos, which are the first things that I learned to cook. But then we also like to use fresh organic ingredients, such as like, like the tuna dishes, etc., which is quite cool. Okay, your turn. There we go.
Can I put it straight on there?
Good work, yeah, perfect. Little light brush with the garlic butter and herb butter, just to moisten up the crust. There we go. Nailed it. Last but not least, we'll add a little bit of crispy kale. Cool. Two beautiful vegetarian flatbreads, stone ground flour. Okay, last but not least, we'll quickly finish the asparagus off. adding a little bit of ginger, chili. Basically, you can add everything except the flour. So beans, we can do this one together.
Okay.
Spoon for you. So what I was always taught when it comes to plating is the more natural ingredients look on the plate, the tastier. So that kind of like old school, you know, like symmetrical dots and blobs. Beautiful. Love your work.
Beautiful. Cheers. Goose, thank you so much for having us in your most incredible restaurant and making this delicious food.
It was such a pleasure to have you here and to take the journey back with an old friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Almost like a family member. It's such a privilege, and it's just great to see what you're doing with food and how you're inspiring people, families, moms, dads to cook simply. And I hopefully your viewers would take something from this experience.
Well, you've definitely inspired me, and I'm sure you have inspired them too, so thank you.
Cool.
Happy cooking. See you next time. Be sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos.